Thank you very much. I'm really, really excited to be here today. What a phenomenal day so far. It is my first time in Norway. I'm from Montreal, Canada, so I'm very used to the weather. So far, I want to thank everybody that I've been involved with Øyvind, Haslak. The hospitality has been phenomenal, feeling welcomed and really excited to be here. When I look at the title of my presentation, Fitness for Improved Tennis, of course, I'm going to say that, right? I'm a strength and conditioning coach. My job is to make your players better athletes. I've never said I'm going to make a better tennis player, but I promise you this, I will make a better athlete. And that athlete will be playing better tennis. The other thing that makes me chuckle is that throughout the years, having worked with so many athletes, you have to ask yourself, what can you do that will not involve a racket, not involve tennis? What can you do to make a better tennis player? Can you make them stronger through fitness? Yes. Can you make them faster? Can you have better agility? So it's a great way of creating a better athlete, which turns into a better tennis player without actually stepping on a court. Now, I spoke to Øyvind about a month ago and he said, listen, I want you to give our coaches extra tools for their toolbox because I really think fitness is truly important. And I believe that, but I believe something even greater, and it's been discussed here so many times already today. What impact are you going to have with that person on court? With your player, with your athlete, with your session? What impact? Because I'm going to tell you, they can forget the technical aspects of a forehand or a backhand. They can forget what a squat and a lunge is. But they will never forget the way you made them feel walking off that court. I say that and I swear to you right now, that gives me chills. Because I had the great pleasure of working with one of the top 5 U14 girls in Canada. Got a call from her father, came to the club this past weekend. She was a wonderful, wonderful person. She came to me, I asked her father just dropped her off. She came in alone, 13. Said, tell me about yourself. What would you like to achieve? So we went through some evaluations and we went through some other things, and what she had said, we started looking at things. I cannot tell you the feeling I got when I saw that girl's face light up when she realized she just did something better. She started moving better. We increased her mobility. We started increasing her speed, her agility. She wasn't crossing over properly. Some very basic exercises changed her, and she was happy as could be. So my question to you guys is, what impact are you going to have on your athletes? Because I'm telling you one thing, I'm pretty sure she'll come back, because I've never seen anybody so happy. We work in an industry that is phenomenal. I love the game of tennis. It provides our people, our athletes, our clients with so many health benefits. It should be an easy sell. But oddly enough, all I keep hearing is tennis is coming down, tennis is declining. Why? The health benefits that we get from it: reduce cardiovascular disease, reduce cholesterol, better aerobic endurance, better bone density. And especially now with an aging population, with dementia setting in and Alzheimer's, great brain function from tennis, brain acuity. It should be a very easy sell. And the biggest thing that the research has shown is longevity. People that play tennis live longer. When we were having lunch, I was watching 2 gentlemen and I asked, like, how old are these guys? They're over 80. My goodness, I hope when I'm that age, I'm still on the court and doing things, because that's phenomenal. But where's it going wrong? Because I feel it is going wrong, because I see things at our club that's not right. And one of the reasons, and I'd like to think that I've coined this quote, Carl, is that most people play tennis to get into shape when they should get into shape to play tennis. And I think that is absolutely true. Without proper fitness prior to getting on the court, think of somebody that hasn't played in a couple of years, that's been sitting at an office desk. They all say now that sitting is the new smoking. We've all heard that, right? And it's true. Sitting at a computer like this 8 hours a day, hunched over, all our muscles becoming very tight, losing flexibility, losing mobility. And then what do people do? Get into their cars, they drive to the club, and guess what? Do they warm up? Nope. Some of them rub Bengay on themselves. You smell that in the locker room. But you often see things on the wrist, the elbows, the knees, ankle braces, all these things. There's one gentleman in his club, in all my years, I still don't know what he's wearing. It's like a halo around the knee, and it connects right into around the foot. I don't even know how he bends his knee, but he's out there playing tennis. But I'm here to tell you that through fitness, and I know a lot of people think right away, and I know this of tennis players, they want to play tennis. The gym sometimes to them is something that they don't want to do. But what I want to show you, and especially in the workshop tomorrow, how you can implement small pieces of the puzzle that will actually help your people, your athletes, your clients, whatever you call them, feel better, play better tennis, and at the end of the day, be more successful and feel better about themselves and want to come back. So location of injuries, this is a big problem now. Because as people play tennis, and even for the young adults, they're having a lot of problems with injuries. We see that 50% of injuries in the body are in the lower body. That starts from the foot up. Plantar fasciitis, rolling your ankle, calf strains, knee problems, quad pulls, hamstrings, groin. It's endless. Is there anybody here that's never rolled their ankle playing tennis? I got one or two. It's not something that happens very often. But what do we do if we don't rehab that properly? That's a problem that keeps leading on. Listen, do you want to play a sport where you're successful at it or where you're getting injured? Nobody wants to get injured playing their sport. Back in North America, pickleball is picking up. And one of the big reasons is because it's on a smaller court, right? People don't have to move as much. And it's normally people that were playing tennis that couldn't play tennis anymore because every time they picked up a racket, they actually hurt themselves and they felt worse, that they're going to pickleball. Funny thing is now they're starting to see the injury rate in pickleball pick up also. Then 20% of the injuries happen in the core. And what do we relate the core to? Lower back problems, correct? Anytime you go to a physiotherapist or an athletic therapist, you say, my lower back, one of the two things that they'll definitely give you is better hamstring flexibility, and they'll definitely want you got to work on the core, doing those planks and things like that. And then lastly, the upper body, which composes 30%, the last 30% of our injuries, where it could be anywhere from wrist, elbow, shoulder, neck, all these things, thoracic spine come into play. So I need your help. I need your help to start implementing small little things on the court that will address a lot of these issues. I'm very proud to say that back home, and it's not to boast, although I do feel very good about it when I talk, our academy, we have 14 high-level players. We have not had one injury this year, not one. Do we have a couple of days where, the athletes have some little aches and pains? Absolutely. They take a day or two off and they're back. That's primarily due also to overtraining. What we implemented this year at the club was all the coaches have to keep a diary of the amount of hours they are spending on the court. And I have found a very high correlation that the athletes that spend the most amount of time on the court have the highest risk of injury. So something was done about that, and now because people have to track it, it's coming back to us. So where should we start? the warm-up. Oyvind had asked me yesterday to speak with a couple of the athletes of the junior team. And he wanted me to talk about the warm-up. And to me, I cannot scream loud enough to you guys how important the warm-up is. To me, the beginning of practice is as soon as you start warming up. So one of the things that I told the young athletes yesterday was, you attack your warm-up with the same energy and vigor as you attack your lesson. If you just go through a warm-up giving a very nonchalant type of effort, that will not do anything. If you have a warm-up that's not specific to what you want in terms of a tennis player, how often do we see people get on court and they do 3-4 laps? Why? That's one thing I don't want to get off on a tangent here because it's very easy for me because it kind of drives me nuts. Because when I watch, especially the young players, start doing laps around, there's no resemblance of athleticism when they're doing it. It just looks like a floppy, and you hear the feet drag. Why not find other activities for them to perform that will prepare them better for their sport, activate them? Because that's what, in essence, the warm-up is. We want to activate. We want to increase body temperature. We want to decrease injury. We want to increase mobility, flexibility. All these things are truly, truly important. And now you're going to say, oh, but Dean, I have an hour with so-and-so, and if we start warm-up, it's going to be 10, 15 minutes. He or she's not going to want it all the time. I'm telling you, come tomorrow, 5-minute warm-up. I'm not saying it's the best thing, but I will tell you it's a great substitute. And there's different areas that we want to look at the warm-up specifically. We want to look at mobility work, increasing mobility. Some very simple exercises that you can perform prior to getting on the court that are phenomenal, that will actually help you tremendously. Here you see I started with, it's called the sleeper. So I'm trying to increase the range of motion, the mobility in my shoulder for internal rotation, which we know tennis players lack internal rotation. I forget the exact number, but at the end of a match, internal rotation decreases by almost 30%. Above, through here, now I'm doing some thoracic rotation. And this is just a mobility, stability flow that I created, that I gave. This is part of what all the athletes at our club do. The whole thing takes 8 minutes. They do it. And it's been very successful. And I want to demonstrate, would someone like to volunteer, please? Just yes? Okay, come forward, please. Bring your chair with you. Next. Okay, it's not going to go. That's fine. Come. Hi.
Evan.
You are?
Evan.
Evan, nice to meet you. Right there. Grab that one, please, for me. Thank you very much. So we're going to do a pre-test. We're going to do the mobility exercise. And then we're going to do a post-test. So can you stand here, please? Right here in front of me. Face me. Okay, I want you to put your feet together. Turn as far as you can without cheating. Like just, don't have to rip your body apart. Try and turn as far as you can to your right. Yeah. Okay, mark that spot. Okay, so not bad. It's pretty good. Other way. Good. Go the other way. Maybe a little tighter on that. Okay, good. Have a seat here. Right here, please. Sit up right on the edge of the chair. Cross your right. Yeah, just sit right there. Cross your right ankle over your left. I feel like this is almost like a magician, and like I'm going to make him disappear or something. But no, it's not that at all. Sit nice and tall. Put your hands behind your head. Okay. So we've crossed the right leg over the left. We want to keep the knees together. He's going to rotate as far as he can to the right. Right there. Good. Now, he's going to bend this elbow into, oh boy, okay, keep the chest, no, stay there, okay. Now I want you to take 3 deep breaths. Now this is the important part. We have to know, first of all, if our athletes can breathe. Good. Expand the rib cage. Up. Good. Come out. Wait, don't do anything. Turn. Okay, bend again. Chest up. It's okay, chest up, up. Good. Now normally if you work with somebody, I should ask you, don't mind me touching you. Okay, good. because it's way too late. I mean, the lawsuit's flying already. Okay, back up, and we're going to rotate one more time. Come. All right, good. Bend one last time. Bend, 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 chest up, breathe. 1, 2, good. Now without, do it the other way. There you go, and breathe. 3 big deep breaths. Go get it. 1, no, not chest, rib cage, okay? That's normally how most of us breathe, right? We breathe from here. When you ask someone to breathe, come out, I don't want to forget about you, okay? When you ask someone to breathe, what do they normally do? Okay? True breathing is throughout the entire body. It's you can put your arms down for that. It's 3D breathing. The rib cage has to expand. So now we're going to cross the other way around, left over right. And now we're going to come this way, and I want you to do the same thing. Bend, and maybe we'll just go a little quicker here so people, big deep breath, big deep breath. You better perform this well, when you stand. Okay, come, good. Bend, big deep breath, big deep breath. Big deep breath, excellent. One more, rotate, chest up, good, and bend. And go the other way. Good, bend, bend, bend. Okay. Come on, go get it. One more after this, just to be sure. Excellent, relax. Stand, please. All right, stand right here. Face me again. Okay, put your feet together. Turn as far as you can towards that way. Go, go, go. Do you feel like you can turn further? Yeah. So before, we could not see this front shoulder. Go the other way. And this is even better on this side. So think about that. Thank you very much, Evan. I appreciate it. Thank you. So, yeah, that'd be great. So think about that. In a sport where we're involved in rotation, if you do not have mobility in your thoracic spine, which is pretty much the big bump in the back of your head down to below your rib cage, what happens? Can you rotate? Can you hit a ball properly? Probably not. So not to get too much into the anatomy of it, but if that thoracic spine, which should be mobile, becomes stable, guess what? Something else has to pay the price. Because our bodies are smart enough to know, all right, I can't do this. I'm going to ask my lower back, which has no rotation, very minimal rotational abilities, to rotate. And then after 6, 7, 10 lessons, I have a lower back. I don't understand why. Injuries usually don't appear out of the blue. It's chipping away slowly at the body. So as soon as you start feeling something, it has to be addressed. But if you can start creating better mobility and stability in your body, that's really going to help. I know I got the clicker, but for some. Then we want to activate the body. Okay? Elastics. This routine that our athletes do is literally 3 minutes. Don't tell me your athletes can't do that. Like, I know at our club, people are waiting to get on the court. It's easy to take an elastic band and start activating your body and getting it ready for the sport that you want to play. Not only are you going to avoid injury, you're going to play your sport better. That's a win-win. And the dynamic warm-up, which we will go through tomorrow in the workshop. And you can tailor to anybody. It's literally, I call it, I mean, I shouldn't call it, but I've referred to it as the greatest warm-up under 4 minutes. Imagine being able to do everything, mobility, activation, and a dynamic warm-up, and you're ready for court. Okay? Secondly, movement drills. This is a question I get asked very often, especially at our, yes?
Should we do those warm-ups in that particular order that you just showed?
Yes. The way I do it, and I'm not the first, I'm not saying that, but the way I've adapted to our athletes is it's mass. We go mobility, activation, and within the activation, the dynamic warm-up is actually part of it. Because I'm telling you, you do that stretch that I was doing there, it's called the world's greatest stretch. you start sweating already. You're ready to roll. And then we have stimulate, where the athletes start performing specific drills on the court, shuffling drills, crossover drills, even light plyometrics just to get the body activated. Thank you for the question. So movement drills, I was saying, with like, for example, and I always refer to women's inner club because we don't have a men's inner club. You know, they come like, when can I do the movement drills? I don't move very well on court. I can't get to the ball. Like, people are passing me, dropping me. But why can't you do 10 minutes prior to practice? Why can't you donate 5, 10 minutes on court? 10 minutes. You have to, we would agree, right, that the women are playing at least 3 times a week for women's inner club? That's 30 minutes a week. It's 120 minutes a month. That just became an enormous amount for them. And I'm not asking very complicated. I'm teaching them how to shuffle, how to cross over. Because if you notice, a lot of times, the shuffling patterns and the crossing over patterns are completely off. Often, they've never been taught. So we're just trying to give them the information and teach them and show them how to be a little better mover. So in this clip, this is Ernesto. He's 20 years old. I had him as an athlete when he was, I think, about 12. By the way, he was the same size at 12. He was a very early mature, terrible. One of the worst movers slash tight. I mean, it was terrible. He got hurt after every practice. His body would not allow him to perform. So he's gotten back into tennis, and we started working together. But there is one big difference Ernesto has compared to 8 years ago. He's 75 pounds lighter. He's really dropped a lot of weight. And the exercises, the drills that we do here are no different than you can teach on a court. You can have 3 ladies on this side, 3 ladies on that side, perform the drill, go through it twice. Put out the cones in a different pattern, do it again twice. You're working towards better tennis, are you not? You're warming up at the same time, and you're becoming a better mover. Again, a win-win. These are things that we'll go over in the workshop tomorrow. Strength and fitness. So for strength and fitness, listen, it's 45 minutes to workshop. I will show you some very key core exercises, because that tends to be one of the things that people lack. Specifically, sitting all day at your desk like this turns off your core. Also, 80% of the population suffer from lower back problems. Now, it's not all core related, I would never tell you that, but it is a large part of it. Because imagine when you run for a ball and you have to get into this position and you can't, and you crumble over. The amount of stress that we put on our lower backs daily from just regular routines. And your lower back doesn't get hurt traditionally just because you picked a dime off the ground. You know, that old saying, oh, I don't know what happened. I was picking up a dime off the ground, my back went. It's not the dime. It's the years and years of abuse that we've done to our body, the de-training that it's gone through. Its inability to actually stay stable and support us. And also, if we're talking about the kinetic chain, we know that we have to develop power from the ground up. If you have a weak core, if you have anything weak, we get what's called energy leaks. Having a strong core will help you transfer your power from the lower body to your upper body. Again, a win-win. This, by the way, is one of my favorite, the Palloff press, one of my favorite exercises. If you have an elastic band that you're using to warm up, you put around the pole, I'm telling you, simple. Again, part of the warm-up. And then the recovery. How many people, how many athletes play tennis, walk out, shower perhaps, and leave? A lot. Our athletes have there's a few rules, but two of them. You are not allowed on the court unless you warm up. You're not allowed to leave unless it's something important, like the parent is picking them up and they have to get out of the club. You have to stretch. And all these different formulas, all these different, I don't want to say approaches, but approaches for a lack of a better word, has helped us stay very healthy, which helps the people come back more and more again. And we'll go through some stretching routines tomorrow. Here's an easy one, lying on the ground. It's a little more complicated than that. There we go. And just working on my hamstring mobility. Guys, as tennis coaches, you're also helping a person's lifestyle. You're also trying to affect a positive health gain from tennis. It's hard to enjoy the sport that people love when you're sitting on the bench watching, or you're trying to just rehab all the time. Nobody wants to spend time in a physiotherapist's room rehabbing. They want to enjoy the sport that they love very much. So please come to the workshop tomorrow. I promise you, I guarantee, I will have exercises, drills that we'll be able to go through. I know you guys will pick it up very, very quickly, that you'll be able to implement. Your clients, let's say, will not notice. You'll be able to provide them with better service and better return for their lessons. I want to thank everybody for being here today. I always respect coaches that come out to these events. It's amazing. It's been a great time. I hope to chat with everybody. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate. Thank you very much. And these are if you want to get in touch with me, that's my email and my Instagram. Thank you very much.